you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
You know, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Is it?
Well, I know because I have to keep track of the days of the week for the kids. So.
Yes. You have to do that.
And I just want you to know that I'm doing the dishes for the third time today already. So.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
it's
real.
Noon.
Yeah.
Third time.
And I'm going to run the dishwasher for the first time today.
Will you do it again before the end of the evening?
2 times a day.
2 times a day. Okay.
And we were finishing up our lunch over here.
I want to see.
In the real talk.
Yes.
It's nap time.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Right?
I'm not sure.
She doesn't have it towards between 12 and 12:30. The Evelyn that you see on Instagram is no longer en casa.
We just see the sweet fashionista gourmand Evelyn.
I know, but right now it's like real. It's like, I'm tired. Give me food.
Hi, Evelyn.
Hi. We've done about an hour and a half of active learning time up till now. And this is when the brains are like, no more.
No more.
We're done with that.
I need a break. I taught preschool for 5 years.
Oh, okay. So now I have to tell you.
I had a mom whose child was had weaned off the bottle, but then was going to daycare. And when they were coming home, the child wanted a bottle. Yep. And she's like, I don't understand. I don't know why he's regressed to wanting this bottle. And I said, well, what do you do when you get home after a long day?
You just want to chill.
You have a bottle.
Yeah.
It's a different bottle. It's just a different bottle. He's had a long day at daycare. Very hard.
They come home. We have a wonderful school that they go to and they play and they learn and do all these things. And they come home starving. Evelyn downs 2 bottles of water. Taylor's they can't eat fast enough.
I mean,
unlike right now where we're tired and we just want to go to sleep.
Hi guys.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor. Hey, Taylor, you want to play the guitar like we talked about or no? Okay. Taylor did want to do a little command guitar performance somewhere along the way, but we have a lot to talk about, I know. So
we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So for those that are just joining, I'm Chevonne Ball of Dirty Radish. This is Carrie Welch of Little Green Pickle and All Things Amazing. We're just coming in to talk.
Yeah. I'm going to go in the home office, which is also the music room and the Peloton room.
The Peloton.
And the home for all of our former office plants right now. So I'm surrounded by greenery. Yeah.
Adjust things a little so people can see my face a little better. There we go. Perfect. Now I don't touch it anymore.
Okay, and I'm going to put you down so that I don't have to hold this the whole time. So
yeah.
Forgive. I'm sorry if I'm making everybody dizzy for a second.
I know, I did the same thing. It's gonna be okay.
I'll sit here with and I'll promote Micah and me, Taylor's favorite band.
So. Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Plug. Always plugging. For those who also don't know, you and I have known each other for 15 years.
I mean, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Obviously through restaurants, all the amazing restaurants.
Yeah. We go way back to the Pigeon and Small Wares and everyone in between.
Everyone in between. So many. So many.
Yeah. I know. Let's take a deep breath. We've taught the kids how to take deep breaths. They're actually really good at it. Evelyn will just look at me and go, and I'm like, oh, thanks, Evelyn. Good work.
Seeing parents do that with their children is so refreshing because I definitely did not learn that as a kid.
Me neither.
Self-regulate and work through the emotions of it all. We try to tell them to calm down, but you know what that does for women. Don't tell me to calm down.
I know, it just makes your blood boil.
Calm down.
Yeah. I'll tell you how to calm down.
I mean, calm down. Yeah.
I know. I know. I learned it somewhere, probably like living in New York City, I think, like where I was just like, whew, gotta like unclench the jaw at some point. Cause I remember there would be times where I would sit on the subway and I'd be like, why does this hurt right here? Like
and
really
then it starts
bad.
to creep up and you're like, what's going on? But yeah, the 4 breath is like my jam.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a little crazy out here.
Right now, for sure. I've been trying to do the like at least 10-minute meditation in the morning and some kind of exercise Peloton during the day. And I usually get like one of those things accomplished. Like usually it's not both during that one day.
Okay.
But meditation's hard right now. I don't know. Have you tried to do any kind of meditation?
I have to do guided.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Talked into it. I can't
leave me alone by myself, and I'll just be like, what work could I be doing right now? You know, like
this. It's like it's not cute. No.
But the guided, I like the Headspace app. I use it. I actually started doing it when I was pregnant with Evelyn because I was really nervous with Taylor's pregnancy, and I wanted to be like that chill, like namaste pregnant lady.
Yeah.
And it helped me do that. So I just tried to keep it up. But it's hard right now. I feel like my feeling about like meditation is that I just can't block out the world as easily as I did before. So
what I've been learning with the meditation, and this is the thing that happens even when you're not in the middle of a pandemic, is allowing to the thought to come in and then like sort of asking the thought to like, so it's like it's always an active thing. I think people think meditation's like you're just away,
right?
But it's really like actively not thinking.
Right. Just like you're like allowing it to just walk through and, you know, come and go. And I just get wrapped up like where I'm trying to solve the problem or something. And I'm just like, okay, this isn't meditating, Carrie. And
right.
Just, you know, it's right when the guy comes back in and he's just like, okay, you know, you need to allow those thoughts to go away. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing that. That's me.
I am.
I also am very predictable on the Peloton where they're like, they get to like the hardest part of the ride and then they look at you and they're like, yes, you can. And I'm like, how did they know?
Yeah, I know. I love that with yoga. I've been doing some yoga and whenever she's like, stop clenching your face, I'm like,
that's me. Yeah, when they talk about like the eyebrows and stuff, I'm like, that's me for sure.
I do this. I get up here.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I know. I'm doing it right now. I'm gonna sit up straight.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 30-ish days.
It has, huh? Wow. Thank you for. I know the day of the week. You know the count of the days. We're doing well.
I don't know an exact count, and I just realized that next Friday is May 1st.
Oh, yeah. When Earth Day rolled around, because we had some promotions tied to that for clients, I was like, oh my God, it's Earth Day already. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you managing? Because I felt like this was sort of a conversation I had with like my accountant of. She works with a lot of small businesses, i.e. restaurants like you do too. So there's this, obviously this grief of your own business, but then these are your clients, your friends, they've been your family. It's like so heavy.
It is.
That article in the New York Times.
Oh, I read it last night and I cried. I just like cried for her and I cried for all of us, you know, and just, I think that I was thinking about this when I was reading it, that if you're a fan of food, you kind of follow food like people follow sports. You know, like, you know, the guys or girls who follow baseball and they're like, they know the hitters, the best percentages, like the stats, like who used to be at what team and now who got traded where. Like, that's how you and I and a lot of our food people, that's how we talk about chefs in restaurants. We know who worked for who and like who does a really killer fried chicken or who does like a really killer salad or I feel like that's part of like my entire world isn't the same. So like most people's isn't, but I'm on the outside enough that I feel lucky in a lot of ways compared to what our restaurant friends are going through, because I just can't imagine. I mean, what we've had to endure stinks on so many levels, but what they're enduring is just so much incredibly worse with no help. Like this idea that the government's going to help us is scary because it's not happening. And I just think like for all of us, it's to see our teams and our people that we really enjoy and like just want to do well, you know, to watch like kind of like blow after blow the last month. It's just awful. And I think that it's hard to move forward because I think we're all kind of like, wait, what just happened to us? Like, this was crazy.
What just happened? What is happening? And what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been booking anything on these Instagram lives or any sort of anything more than a week out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or how I'm going to even feel or
Yeah.
how someone else is going to, like, I don't want to do that. It's been really interesting for me to not, like, I haven't worked in a restaurant in the last 2 years full time, really. And it's weird to not be a part of that family, but it's also like, it's like really hard to like not, that's what I'm used to doing. I'm used to coming in. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to fix this. Like, I've helped some people on the outside, like switching to doing delivery, switching to like these, like what platform to use and how to promote it and like giving my 2 cents on those things. But I mean, we have to also recognize that like the whole, like there's a lot of things that have been sort of issues a long time coming that we needed to deal with. So I hope if and when we go back, it's different.
Yeah, I so agree with that. And I don't know exactly how to solve all those really systemic problems that people in our industry have and we're having. But I'm honestly on the like hopeful curve this week, like today, because I feel like I can actually see just a tiny bit of like, maybe we could do this, or maybe it could be that way. And I don't have any answers. No one does. It's amazing to watch. I'm a news hound. I read every newspaper, every site I can get my hands on, which is problematic right now. You can imagine the like dark holes you can go down really quick. But I feel like watching business leaders of multi-million-dollar corporations, they don't have any answers. The government doesn't really have any answers. Like, it just is in this very uncertain, undefined time. But I think that we're all starting to maybe get to a place where we can just see like, okay, if it goes this way, maybe it's that. If it goes this way, maybe it's this. And I just hope that the creativity is somewhat present, because it's so hard to be creative when it feels like you're being kicked while you're down. You know, and I just don't, I commend every single restaurant out there that's even trying to turn around takeout or delivery. Because I feel like, how are they even doing that? Like, it's so incredibly admirable. I'm in awe of them, because it's just hard to get out of bed for some, you know, like for all of us, but certainly for someone who, when you like looked at your business the way that we've all had to look at our small businesses these days, I don't know, to then completely reinvent yourself is a Herculean, like, bravo effort, because
In days.
I just can't. I don't
Turning it around in days.
We've all made decisions that were unfathomable 2 months ago. I looked at my schedule from early March, and you know what's weird about this, the way that how fast this went, and everyone has their own version of this, but the Friday, March 13th, we were hiring at Feast.
Yeah.
Like, and then by the following Wednesday, the world had changed. So it was just so, my schedule was packed. I mean, I like a busy, active mom, work, fun stuff, life. Like any of my team who knows me, they're always like, your schedule is impossible.
Yeah.
We schedule a meeting with you and we can't find any time. And I'm just like, I know, because I like it that way. I like it stacked. I like to work, and then I like to go home and be with my family. But I looked at my schedule and it was like boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden it was nothing. Like zero.
How have you adjusted to the nothing? Because you are raising 2 small children.
Yeah. Who are wonderful distractions for a lot of the void, you know, like the vacuum feeling of like a lot of that being like sucked out. And I'm grateful because I have 2 businesses that are both running and alive and happening. And I have great clients that have stuck with us on the Little Green Pickle side, which I'm unbelievably grateful for, and just excited. I'm excited to have something to do where it feels like we're being productive. And Janny's figuring out how to make websites where like people can have the delivery and the takeout and easy cart options. And it's nice to be able to use our skill sets to help people. That is really important, always important to me with what we do, but more so now. But then we have the kids, so we're homeschooling like everybody else. And that, homeschooling was fun for about like a day. like, I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to like set up
You're
stuff.
like,
I've got like a teaching nook.
Great. Okay, we're gonna use this.
We got lots of supplies, like a construction paper. We got everything. Like, I was going to be like the one that's like, okay, we're going to learn how to play ukulele today, everyone. And no, that's not happening. What's happening is literally like 1 hour of what I call learning time. And learning time is so our wonderful school, Purple Moon, which both kids go to, they're over on Northeast Broadway. And boy, we couldn't be more grateful for teachers, period. Like, besides like our healthcare workers, our restaurants, like everyone who's like trying to do stuff during this time, the teachers to me, so we have circle time every morning via Facebook Live. So it gives us some structure. We wake up at 9 a.m. The kids get in front of the iPad with their teachers, and they do really fun stuff. Like they did Simon Says for S Week today, you know, like really just interactive, keeps their attention for a minute. And then Taylor practices his letters, which just the teachers have to like, you have to be so patient. You have to be like, this is a curve. Like it's not, it doesn't.
And how you explain that?
It doesn't just happen. And he draws a line and you have to like keep going. So we do that for about an hour, and Janie and I switch off on who does learning time based on who has work or calls or whatever. So we're lucky because we're together like the creepy lesbians that we are 24/7 anyway. Like all the time, Janie and I commute to work together, go home together. So this isn't all that different.
This isn't like new.
Yeah. It's just like
different.
You're going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay. You like right now she's doing a dance party. And wait.
Yeah. Take me to see. I want to see.
This is real talk.
Real talk. Life. Keeping it real.
And this is so we have a daily dance party with the kids. It might be more than a day. Oh, they're tackling each other even better.
Well, Evelyn.
Okay,
I think Evelyn's winning. Obviously. Go Evelyn.
What's even better is that Evelyn's tackling Taylor. She's a year and a half old, so yeah.
She's a year and a half going on 22.
Oh my gosh, you don't even know. So we do this kind of stuff and then they go have a nap. But like, so when it's my turn, I do that. And then obviously Janie's doing that.
Yeah. Your connection for me has just paused for a second. Just going to give it a sec to come back. The beloved pancake hold. Yes. Okay, Carrie left. She's going to come right back. Technology. Here she comes. Waiting for Carrie to come right back. Hi, Savannah. Still waiting for Carrie. Hi, Lucia. I like when I get those little, like it's like the tiniest thing, but it's like, you see me, I see you, that's the heart. That's what I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to try to do Carrie one more time. Let's see. Boop. Add. Hi, Jean. Oh, Megan, you're the best. Okay, let's see if we can get Carrie back. Go live, Carrie. It says waiting for Carrie, connecting.
Yay!
And we're back. It took me and the pianist last night like 3 times to get
I'm
live.
Sorry. I'm gonna stop moving around so much. I feel like it's my bad Wi-Fi. So
Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
your Wi-Fi.
A good spot for this, but so yeah, you see the chokehold that happens from the 1.5-year-old. I'm going to take you to my secret spot and interrupt my dog. Because she has, in our bedroom, commandeered this. A whole chair. She's got a whole chair. This was like a chair that was meant for like nursing and stuff. And she's like, yeah. So we're going to sit with Daisy.
I'll take this.
This is good. Over, babe. She didn't want, and she also like won't move over. So
yeah. No. Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
I know. Okay, so we were talking about today and
Yes.
things. Okay, so we just switch off. We switch off back and forth with work and with life. And somehow, I mean, it's been okay. Like, it's not perfect, and our clients are extremely understanding. Everyone's doing the same stuff. I see a lot of kids on the Zoom conference calls and dogs and who knows what else. And I think it's been enlightening to see how people really live, though. You know, like that whole facade that we put up, like that our kids aren't there. You know, like the guy with the
Yeah.
BBC
Yeah.
video where he was like, his kids come in.
Yeah. And
Like,
he's like, get out. But
I
he's
don't,
like,
not cool also, like where he's like, you know, very upset. But I
yeah.
feel like now it's just reality that there, you know, there's families around, and that's okay.
I think he was more embarrassed. Like, that's what
Yeah.
I want to hope. But I love the parody that came out from that with the mother just like doing all the things. Like,
Yep.
she just picked up the kid. She started making a chicken. She's doing a fax. But like, there is actually a scientific like study. They put people in these rooms and gave them a series of tasks to do. And it was like fax, iron a shirt, a phone would ring, you had to take a message, and all of the guys did the one thing.
Oh gosh, the multi,
Like,
yeah.
Pop the popcorn. Okay, I'm gonna pop the popcorn and I'm gonna just wait for the popcorn to finish, and then I'll do the next thing. Whereas like all the women were like, start the popcorn, start the fax, answer the phone, and I'm ironing. Like,
yeah, just keep going. I know, it's
so,
like I feel like that's how it is right now too, where it's like I'm trying to answer emails and Taylor's asking me something and Evelyn's crying, and then Janie also is asking me something, and somehow you just I'll finish the email, talk to Janie, talk to Taylor, and then pick up Evelyn, you know. But it's like you just have to try, and I think that we're all trying our best, and sometimes there are these days that it feels like you're just completely failing, and then there's other days where you're not, and you're having a good day, and you like enjoying that like literal like 20 minutes of productivity. I put together a Google document the other day and I was like, look at that. That feels really good. I did that.
yeah.
And I
There
think
are currently
that's, we
no
have to just
dishes
allow
on my
ourselves some of that.
counter.
What'd you say?
There are currently no dishes on my counter.
Oh my God. Like I said, I do the dishes at least 3 or 4 times a day. I have like a couple of rules. Do you have a couple of rules about your day?
I do.
Like that you're just trying to follow? Like, granted, there are some days where I don't follow them at all, and that's fine too. But like my rule is I have to do the dishes immediately, like right after Janie serves a meal, because I also feel like Janie's doing all the cooking. So the best thing I can do is just give her a clean kitchen to work in.
Yeah.
So I do the dishes right away, no matter what, like no excuses. And then sometimes on a call, like I'll just put it on mute and I'll like do the dishes, because multitasking.
If you're on the phone with me and not a FaceTime, I'm probably doing the dishes.
Yeah. And the other rule is that I have to take at least like an hour or a minute, whether it's the learning time or otherwise, with the kids, like, and just really play, like not like fake play. Cause like sometimes as a parent, you can do the like, oh, I'm playing with you, but I'm thinking about something else, or I'm got my phone next to me, or, you know, like these kind of like bad habits creep in. And so I try to like go in the treehouse with Taylor and like do some kind of like imagination game, because I find that that's better for me and my work. It starts to open up different parts of your brain. So I try to, it's Shonda Rhimes who wrote she writes Grey's Anatomy, right?
Right.
She does that with her kids. Scandal, yes, and so many other shows. So she's so creative and so prolific. And she said it's because she stopped not playing with her kids and she started playing with them, and then all of a sudden all these ideas started coming to her. And I read that article like a long time ago with her, and I've just tried to do that since.
Yeah.
I
mean, I feel like there was a tag or something on the Instagram of like grace in chaos, or grace in the chaos. And I feel like that's the thing. Like, I'm also a little woo-woo, so I follow the moon cycles, you know?
Oh, I love it. I do it a little bit. I'm a Scorpio, so you probably hate me, so that's fine.
No, not at all.
Everybody, nobody likes a Scorpio, apparently.
I do. I'm a water sign. I love a Scorpio. Are you kidding?
Janie is a Scorpio too. We should have murdered each other a long time ago. So yeah.
I don't see it.
But we just know, like, oh, you're doing that Scorpio thing. Like, stop doing it.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
But the new moon just happened Wednesday, and for me, I was like really having some hard times, like just motivating the couple days before, and then I just get really tired, and I'm just like, I'm not motivated, and like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because
I think like allowing yourself that space now is everything. Like it's just I talked to my sister in New Jersey and she feels that way. I talk to people all across the country, and it's so strange how we all have this shared experience when we can't see or touch each other. And it also reminds me how much we actually are connected. That I miss the simple luxury of going into the office. I miss my teams. I miss seeing their faces. I miss that. You know what I miss the most? I was thinking about this last night. That like 15 minutes when you start your day in an office from like 9 to 9:15, where people kind of just like bullshit, like, and they just say, you talk about your weekend, talk about what happened to you. Like a lot of times, like I would walk into the office and I'd be able to like joke around with the team in a way that I wouldn't be able to the rest of the day, and there was like that little sweet spot where they were talking to each other, or we had just stories about our kids, or I don't know, anything. And I miss that a lot, because that's like that entry time into, okay, we're going to work together and do some really great stuff today.
Yeah. There's the ritual, the morning.
Yeah.
I'm in a totally different boat than you.
You don't have that 9 to 5.
I'm not a 9 to 5. I don't have children. I don't have any pets.
What's it like? Is it just so quiet, like, and serene? And does it get boring though? Like it must get, you're like,
I'm never bored.
Never. Okay. That's good.
No, I'm taking a very different approach. I very quickly decided to turn certain things off and not answer certain calls before 11, which seems pretty long, but like, there's nothing that's in the media or the news that I need to know about before 11 that's going to change my day that dramatically. If there's really something serious, I feel like my mom will be the first to call me anyway.
Yeah, you get the text. Yeah.
And I love my mother. I do. We had to have some real conversations about what kind of information she needs to pass along to me. Because she's also like a headline reader. So she'll read a headline and that's the whole story. And I'm like, no, you gotta read and you gotta like take it on. And like I had a friend send me a message about something in New Orleans terrible that happened. It was like 9 a.m. and I was like, I don't read the news before 11.
Well, no, and we shouldn't be sharing terrible stories with each other. Like you can go into your little Apple News thing and just see those real quick if you want to. And because there's just too much, it's too heavy. Like the news, I totally agree with you. Like I actually look at the news at like after the kids go to bed, maybe I'll put on CNN for like a minute if I can handle it. And if I can't handle it, I don't, because sometimes I need to see the death count and sometimes I do not. And it's like I lived in New York City during September 11th. And this makes that look almost easy in a way. Like I know that sounds awful.
Yeah.
But it was 2,000 people in one day. And what we're dealing with right now is so much more than that in a like awful, awful sense that I can't like in my most empathetic self, I just can't handle. Like it comes into my body and my spirit. And I can't handle, like it almost seems unreal because I can't handle how big it is. And then I try to just say, like, I just want to stay strong for all my friends and family that are in New York and New Jersey. And then I tried to like just stay informed as much as I need to for my family and to protect my kids and my wife and myself. But then it's like, you got to leave a lot of that behind after that. Like you take the parts that you need.
Yeah.
And that's it. But so if somebody was emailing me news links, I'd be like, get off my text right now.
Yeah. I had to put some boundaries up in that because for myself as well, just because like, I have family, I call them family. They're not blood family, but they're my freaking family in France. And, I was getting a lot of what we were coming to have 2 weeks prior. And for my friends in France to be calling me about a scare, that means it's serious. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like 2 weeks ahead of all of it. Like, I was like, does everybody see the wave that's coming? I don't think everyone's seeing this wave. It's like, it's coming. And my friends are pharmacists and doctors and, and so they were like, Chevonne, stay in the house, get a mask. They were like telling me, and I was like,
and you're
okay.
Like, you're crazy. A mask?
We were still in the not even lockdown phase by this point, and, or self-isolation or whatever you want to call it, shelter in place. Not going outside is what I'm calling it.
Like, right. I know. And I have this like, this very like sad art project that I need to attempt where, cause Janny's parents were like, you guys have to wear masks. Like, so Janny's parents are Taiwanese, live in, Las Vegas. And they go to Chinatown like all the time and in Las Vegas. And they were like, Chinatown's empty. You need to wear masks. Like you need to like be really careful. And I'm like, they are being so crazy, but they knew a lot of people that were traveling back and forth and they were like ahead of the game. And so Janny started wearing masks like fairly early on when she went out for like grocery shopping and stuff. Cause like, why not? Who cares? Right. And so now we're kind of getting to the point where maybe the kids need to wear masks when they go outside. And, you know, I don't know, like I'm sort of unsure when we're walking down our street to make them wear masks when there's no one around, you know, like, so maybe that's okay. But I have this sad art project that I put together for me and Taylor to sew his mask. And it kind of like makes me want to cry every time I attempt it. Cause it's also, I don't know why I did this. It's like kind of like too much, but it's like his favorite Lightning McQueen shirt that got mom. And I was like, do you want to make it into a mask? Sounded like a really good idea. And now I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like, that sounds really sad. So he's like, hey, when do you want to make that mask out of my shirt? I'm like, never. That was terrible. So
it's, I don't know how you like, you know, like I said, I don't have kids. And so like, I don't know how you stay positive for your kids when there's really just like, there's some real stuff going on. Like,
I know, and you just don't know. Like most of the time as a parent, you can be like, mommy is confident that this is what is happening, right? Like in some, right, you can like make it up that like, that is the case. And right now you're just kind of like, I think there's a lot of parents I've talked to where we're just trying to be really honest with our kids, where we're like, look, no one knows what's going on with this virus. Because Taylor's 5.5, so he can really get a lot of it. Yeah. And he'll get it no matter what I do. So that's the other thing, is like, I can't lie to him. And Taylor's had more nightmares recently than he's ever had before, like screaming, coming out of his room nightmares. And I know it's because he's internalizing this thing. Like we all are. Like I have really weird dreams right now. And I said to him, I was like, what do you think about this virus? Like what's going on? Like, how do you feel about it? What's going on in your brain, in your body? And because he goes to a fantastic school, he's really used to talking about his emotions and he's pretty good at it. He's like, mommy, the virus makes me feel scared, but I know that our family is strong and we're going to get through this. And I'm just like, I've also messaged him properly. So, but it's like, he just, they have this resilience in them that is almost like unexpected sometimes. And they show you things that you didn't even realize yourself. So that's where the kids are just like this incredible benefit in a lot of ways. Yeah. And then they scream and cry and things happen. But I just love Taylor's little spirit right now. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, I know people are like, I mean, I've had friends, you know, I call it BC, before COVID. Sure.
The before time. Yeah.
Before times, you know, last year. That's what it feels like. Like Assemblage feels like last year.
Assemblage is like another time. It was like another life, you know.
So long ago. But I've had friends come over to my apartment who have children, and they see my apartment, and they're like, "It's like there's no kid stuff. It's clean. There's all these things." But being on your own also has stuff because I have to cook and clean. Yeah. There's nothing to like do them both, right? And I don't like, lonely isn't the right word. Like, it's not like, I don't feel like I miss people like maybe some people think you would. It's the like, I didn't have a partner before I went into COVID. And so like that sort of thing comes up, and you can forget online dating.
I mean, how would you even attempt? You would do you would like Zoom?
Keep it real. I attempted.
You did? How did it go?
Just like it was before COVID. Just
awkward and weird.
Fools acting fools. These hetero dudes out here are so, not all. Try and be PC and be cool. But these ones are gross. They were saying gross stuff to me. Like,
people try to do like sex talk on them. Like they try to, I'm like, ew. Oh, that makes me,
We're in the middle of a pandemic and all you can think about is.
That's so sad.
Like, I just want to have a conversation. I just wanted to like talk. Maybe we'll end up FaceTiming and like checking in and like having conversation. But no, you want to talk about literally, I can't say it on the internet right now, but someone asked me about some skills and if I had those skills, and I was like, what? And this is mind you, I'm going to say for the record, this was after me just saying hello.
Oh my God, I think I'm blushing and like laugh crying at the same time. That is just like, that's one of the most choice like examples of what weirdness right now.
So this person said that to me and I responded, I said, I just want you to know that I just burst into tears and you're a garbage human being.
Yes. And then you're like, oh wait, my internet's not working anymore. Bye.
But you know what he says back to me? He says back to me.
Do I want to know?
Yeah, he said, I'm sorry, I'm just horny. And I was like, that's not an excuse.
No.
Like, I just wanted to so dating is off the table in its entirety. Yeah. Because I don't have time for that.
No.
I don't have time to deal with all of that.
I didn't even consider that people would be like not cool during like, because we're all just looking for some kind of connection right now. Like just this, it's really nice to see your face right now and be able to talk to you and the people that are here with us. Like it feels like a nice like community thing to do. And then these idiots need to do stuff like that. Like that's crazy.
Like
life is about very little simple moments of appreciation right now. Like don't do that.
No. Can we just say hi? Can we just like, we're in the middle of this crazy, like whatever. Like I did talk to somebody in another country and they were just like, your president is so funny. And I was like, you can say that because you don't live here. Like, let's calm it down. Like, no. So it's me and my books.
That's cool. Yeah.
And
what are you reading right now? I'm reading Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. And it's so depressing. Like I think I picked one of the most depressing. I might as well be reading like Sylvia Plath right now. Like wow. And I love her writing style. It's like really spare and like minimalist. And I've read Joan Didion since like college. And then I finally commit to her novel and I'm like, oh my God, I think like this is the most depressing book I've ever read in my life. Like think of anything bad that can happen to a woman basically happens to this character in like the first 2 chapters. So yeah.
Not what you're supposed to be reading right now.
No, but I feel I'm one of those book people. I don't know if you're this way where I have to finish it. Like I will see that book through. I will not just like put it down and
You're better than me.
Yeah. What are you reading right now?
I'm reading mostly wine books and I've been studying French pretty hardcore this time around.
Right on.
I really want to go up a level right now, right?
What level are you at right now?
I mean, I'm conversationally fluent. Like I can have the conversations if I want to, but there's like, I learned some nuances this last week that I was like, oh, I've been talking like a straight up child this whole time. And I could have been saying these little phrases and sounded like a grown up.
And so you're like overly formal almost, right? Like in the language where
my friends, this is
you're like, hello, Mrs. ... Like, how are you today, elder person of the world?
When I first learned French, I learned from a very old style. And so I am very formal and proper. So that's why I get along with all the older people in France.
Oh, yeah, they probably love it.
They're like, oh my God, you're so like proper. And my friends' friends are like, Chevonne.
I'm a terrible American who knows un poquito de español, and I learned that in middle school and high school, and I remember the formal versus informal though, and I remember that was like everything in terms of like, did you understand and read the situation and can you verbalize it?
But for me, the formal of like you, so there's tu and vous, not to have a quick first lesson, but the to conjugate the verb in the vous form is so much easier for me because it usually has the same ending.
Oh my God.
So that's another reason I use the formal is because it's just easier to conjugate.
Yeah, you can just flow it. What wine are you drinking though, Chevonne, is the real question. That's what the inquiring minds probably want to know. Are you allowed to say? Are they all your children and you love them equally?
I do love all my children equally. I have some bottles that I have been contemplating getting into at this point, just for fun, because why not?
Life is short. Yeah.
Life is short. Let's do it. But I've been drinking a lot of just really fresh, easy Beaujolais drinkers, and
Nice.
drinking some, like, a lot of Oregon is doing their rosé release right now. So there's a lot of new rosés coming out. I'm going to be doing that live, I think, next Wednesday with Domaine Roy. They just released a rosé, and then yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do stuff. I don't know what people want to hear or see, and so I'm just trying things out. I feel like now is the time.
Yeah, right? Why not? I'm drinking a lot of Oregon Chardonnay and rosé right now.
Yeah.
I tried the Suzer Chardonnay last night. Holy moly, that was delicious.
Suzer, they're so good.
And that ensemble wine that they made is super cool. Like, just the community effort is pretty amazing.
It was really fun last night to do the jazz and then to talk with them. They came on at the end, Melissa and Greg, and talk about the organization and the wine, and it was really cool. I think what they're doing is just, I mean, to pull that together.
I know, and I think that just like Dobbs and Bethel Heights and a couple of the other wineries are all supporting Family Meal, the relief organization for restaurant workers. And I just, I love seeing the coming together that people are doing, because those bright spots are where it's keeping me going. I don't know about you, but it's just when I see people doing stuff where I'm like, that's so cool and so thoughtful. Thank you. It really helps all of us, because it helps me start to think about like what my next move might be, or, you know, whatever our version of that might be. So I think it's really neat.
How are you planning right now? Because for me, with, you know, everything I do is centered around events and travel, and
those aren't happening right now. Yeah.
I had the most amazing event planned for May that I didn't even get to like bring it to the world, and I was just like, hi.
Sorry.
It's okay.
My Alexa is failing me as a wait for the phone.
I can't wait to be able to do this event, but I was so proud to get that event together, and then like, not be able to do it.
Well, I feel like events are labors of love, like restaurants and like kind of anything where you try to gather people around together over food and kind of connectiveness. You know, for us right now, we are planning, trying to plan, and just researching and absorbing. I think that for me right now, what I've realized, and this is hard for me because I am like type A, go, go, go. I like to work. I like to do things. I like to show results that we're done together, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard for me to like sit back and like research for a month. But that's what I've been doing, and just trying to kind of get through the like haze of everything that went down in mid-March, and then come out somewhere where I can have a brain again to really be creative. Janny and I kind of like share a brain in a way too. So it's like requiring both of us to kind of like get over that hump. And finally, like this week, we were like, oh my God, we actually want to like think of ideas again and like really go for something, but we just don't know what that is yet. And it's going to like the entire world is going to define that in the next few weeks when we try to look towards reopening in some way, shape, or form. And I'm scared about that because I don't know how I want to put my kids back into the world. You know, like I don't know how I want to put myself back in the world, but I'm less concerned about myself than I am about them. And but I know we have to do something, and I know we have to be brave, and we have to be positive, and we just have to put one foot in front of the other. If anybody has watched Frozen 2, you know, I love Frozen. I also enjoy equating life to Frozen. If you remember my Assemblage talk, then yes.
Yeah.
Here again. There's a song in there called The Next Right Thing, which is like the saddest song you'll ever hear in a kid's movie. Like, it's just like, but it talks about just whatever the next right thing is for you, that's what you need to do. You need to put one foot in front of the other and just do the next right thing. And I literally think about that almost every single day now, where I like going through the like really tough times of this. I like even put that song on and like blasted it in our living room, because I'm just like, let's just feel all the feels and just get through this thing a little bit. And now I feel a little bit on the other side where it's like, what could be possible? That's just an exciting question to ask.
What could be possible?
Yeah.
What could be possible?
That's what I'm trying to get there. And I feel like with Little Green Pickle, we have this wonderful community of clients that we're working with where they help inspire us, and we go back and forth on different ideas and how we can do things and what the work looks like right now, and like what the media landscape even is. Like there was a while where some media were starting to get laid off, and I was like, holy moly, this is really bad. Because if there's no media, then how are we going to tell people what we're doing? But that didn't happen. So that's good news.
Yeah.
And I feel like the media has stabilized enough that there's some stories to tell, and people want to see some things of, you know, positive stories, or maybe a touch of like non-COVID related things. And then on the feast side, it's just a matter of like really seeing what we're able to do and what the next like really creative idea is around that, around events, because events are going to change.
Yeah. And then the thing is, and I'm sure you can understand this as like both an event planner and like someone I want to ask the question to, but you don't have, there's no answer. Like, what will it look like? And like nobody knows.
I really wish I knew, because you know, Feast is my firstborn child, so it's really hard for me to not know what it looks like right now. And that was kind of like part of that grief that we all had to go through, of like just the world as we knew it changed, kind of like probably forever. And I think that we, you know, for us, it was the fact of like having like dreams and plans, and you know, for, you know, anyone who's done an event know that you're planning it very far in advance. So we had a lot already on the table. And I think for us though, it's just that we have the core team to think of the new and different ideas and see what other people are doing and how we can reflect what the restaurant industry, the beverage industry needs and wants. That's
Are you planning on a track right now, like with a timeline, or are you just planning for the if and when it can happen?
We're just hopeful that we can do something. I don't know what it is. And we're trying to remain as flexible as possible. But what's also great is that we have some partners that want to do something. So that it's just like these little signs of life, you know, where if the right combination of things come together, maybe. So we're just trying to, this is infinitely hard for me. I'm trying to like take a step back. In my entire professional career, do you know how many times I've been told to take a step back? Carrie, if you could just take a step back, just really make sure you have the big picture. And I'm like, oh, I want to take a step forward. So I'm trying. I'm channeling all those wonderful mentors I had over the years who were like, take a step back, take a deep breath, and just look at the landscape and look at what we might be able to do within the, you know, the construct that we now have. And we'll just see. I am really hopeful today that something really cool could come out of it, because I just know I didn't interview too early on in this process with the wonderful Catherine Cole at the Foretop, but I was so emotional that day that I was just like, whoa. And I sat across the table from Vitaly Paley, and when I looked him in the eye, first it was difficult because Vitaly to me is like one of those people that's like family, that like I stalked him before I moved to Portland, and I was like, oh, if I can only meet Vitaly Paley and work with him, you know, that'd be so cool. And now I get to do that. And at the end of the interview, I was just like, you know what, Vitaly, I trust you. Like, I trust this industry that we work in, that we're going to do something, and it's going to be different. And I think that gives me a lot of heart, and it gives me a lot of energy to move forward. And then I get on the Peloton and they tell me that I'm a boss and that like, you can do this. And then, you know, after a while you start to believe it.
Yeah. I, you know, everything for me is both events, but the travel has really changed. And like,
yeah,
I'm really excited. On Tuesday for Dirty Radish, I'm talking with this woman named Cherie Mitchell, who basically does what I do with my tours, but in Portugal.
Oh, so cool.
And she's been doing it for much longer than me. So she's like got it dialed. It's amazing. I can't wait to talk to her. But she says right now, no one has canceled their future trips as of right now.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, but we don't know when they're going to allow people to move through, when flights are going to open. It's so hard to predict. Like, I want to plan for trips for 2021, but will people want to travel, and what will 2021 even look like? Like, it's just It's so hard. So for me, I'm leaning more into putting myself out there on the gram and trying to be whatever my community needs from me. Dancing in my kitchen, jazz and wine.
That's one of my favorites. You dancing in your kitchen. Inspired by your assemblage talk. That was so great. I feel like, I think but that's the thing that I'm talking about, where it's like, never in my life have I not had all the answers. Like I'm somebody who, right or wrong, prides themselves on knowing things and being able to do something with that. And it's a good exercise for me to say that I don't know all the answers and that I'm just listening. And I'm
How
trying.
does it feel when you say that? How does it feel when you say
awful? Like it at all? Look at my face. Like, it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable.
That's a good face, because I knew that's how you were going to respond. Like, to say that.
Well, because so I was really lucky in my early career where I catapulted forward quickly. So I started at Food Network as an assistant. I left as vice president. I had a 10-year career. They gave me every opportunity. I traveled to every major US city. I went to the Super Bowl. I went to the White House. Like, you name it, they let me do it, right? So this girl who thinks that she knows everything moves to Portland, Oregon, and then thinks, I'm going to learn everything about Portland, Oregon, and I'm going to do that here. And then I do, in a way.
You do.
Well, and I know that I offended people all over town and like annoyed the crap out of pretty much anyone who had listened to me when I first moved here, because I was like that New Yorker who like knows everything,
We weren't ready for y'all when you all started coming in. We were like, we're gonna need you to slow it down.
I think about like some of those meetings that I had, and I'm just like embarrassed. Like, I'm just like, oh my god, I must have really
thought you were high. They were like, this girl's on something.
They must have.
Too fast.
And meanwhile, it was just too much Portland coffee, because I was like obsessed with. I was like, I would drink like 4 cups a day because it was so good.
You're like, what is this glorious amazingness?
Yeah,
not burnt.
And then I would fast talk my way through these, and I would schedule. Oh, this is the real talk. I would schedule half-an-hour meetings with people. Half an hour. Mean. That's not nice. And people here, you spend time together. You actually get to know each other. You
share a meal.
Yeah. And like this is how you and I got to know each other, is like we would sit down, our meetings would go like an hour and a half. And that's normal. In New York, I came from a place where I wore a headset all day and did 15-minute calls, like a telephone operator, Yeah, like my Britney Spears moments, So I just the culture shift for me was a lot, but I feel like this feeling now of, hey, you've got to actually like look at yourself as a person and who you want to be coming out of this virus is probably some of the most important work that I'm going to do. And I'm working on it. Like, it is very much a work in progress right now. And I don't know how to do it. And Janie and I just talk. I'm so grateful to have my wife we got married in 2010. So almost 10 years now. And we've been together for almost 20, like more like, together for 15.
Yeah.
And I feel like to have her to like bounce ideas off of and make sure that I'm not being a total jerk, and that like to check different parts of your personality. I'm grateful for that. And like, I just kind of feel like you appreciate things that are right in front of you so much more.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is like, I think it's a combination of both like the grace of like, nothing's going to get done today. I'm just not in the mood. I read something, I heard something, a friend is having this problem. I just don't freaking feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay. And then there's days where I'm like, today's the day I'm going to do the yoga. Today's the day I'm going to edit that video or whatever the thing is. But I really feel like for me personally, I'm really trying to take this as an opportunity to come out of this, whatever that looks like, at another level. Whether it's my French is better, I've read a few books I've wanted to read. I've done more yoga. I don't know. I'm trying to like do all those things, but I'm also still just being like, I'm in pajama bottoms from the waist down right now.
I put on my best t-shirt and jeans for you. So Oh, and I took
Jeans,
my
buttons.
so you know.
You put on a button. You put on jeans with a button.
I know. I put jeans with a button on them. Like that is a lot. Yeah. I know. I was reading some of those things where you go from like yoga pants to like sweatpants to pajamas. Like I've been doing that kind of progression most days. So where
Poor neighbors.
Taylor will even go like, Taylor will go like, can I wear my pajamas all day? Because you're wearing yours. And I'm just like, yes.
I don't wear pants most of the time. I wear a top, but I don't wear a bottom. I wear underwear or like some short shorts. But my poor neighbors are like, because I have no curtains. It's all half like cafe curtains in here.
It's like, you're welcome. There's your show.
I'm like, I know this because when I see them on the street, they're like.
Meanwhile, so you know how Portland houses are so tight together? Like, so we live in Northeast. We're in Rose City, and we have newish neighbors on one side of our house, and they're sweet, and they have like a young son, which is great. Like Miles is the same age as Evelyn, but we're right next to each other. So I'm like, Taylor, put your clothes back on. Taylor, it's too cold to go in the kiddie pool. Taylor, stop. Taylor, if you're gonna pee, make sure you pee near the compost. Like,
yes,
you're on each other. It's so silly.
I mean, at this point too, though, you're just like, "Hey, neighbor."
I mean, yeah,
hey.
they hear and we hear all their stuff too. So it's hilarious.
I mean, I live in an apartment building with, neighbors. Thankfully, actually, there's no one. Real talk. I manage the building, so I have access. But the woman who lived above me, she moved out just as COVID was sort of happening. And so now it's empty. And so now it's my yoga studio.
Oh my God. And to not have somebody walking above you all the time. Like I lived in a New York apartment one time where this woman, she literally walked back and forth all day. She must've had like some like nervous pacing. And I was like,
you're like, lady, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm finding like some tiny noises, like my woodpecker friend. Are like more like aggressive to me now because there's just like no other noise, and so I'm just like zip it.
The animals in our neighborhood, we have a million more squirrels. There's all these different kinds of birds. The hummingbirds have really come out. Like it's that part is very beautiful. And Evelyn goes through, and we say hello to every single tulip on the street, which by the way now is like a little awkward because the tulips have all passed. So now I'm like, that's an iris and that's a poppy. Like we're trying to, but it's really amazing to take it down to that level of detail that you wouldn't normally notice.
Kids make you take the break, man. My break is, I don't really have a break.
I know. But maybe you get to talk to people on Instagram. I think you're doing a great job.
I do. Thank you. That's very kind.
Yeah.
This has been a fantastic, I can't believe it's an hour. It's already been an hour.
That like flew by and I only dropped off like 2 times. So that's good.
I mean, it's what happened.
Just, for full disclosure, I am joined by Elmo and Minnie Mouse and an Ugg
Of course. Yeah. I am just sitting here with all of my French books.
This is my, like, where I do my Zoom calls, because it's got like fairly good lighting and stuff. And the kids like took it upon themselves to decorate it.
Of course.
They were like, decorate mommy's little like space.
It needs some zhuzh.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys continue to be as awesome as you are. I love all of your posts. I just want to come hang out with you whenever it's possible. Yeah. Someday soon.
We can do a socially distant happy hour like I do with my folks. Yeah. Where they sit like 20 feet away in the driveway. So, yeah. But yeah.
I hope everyone here had a little bit of fun with us today, just knowing that we're all in this together and that we're all sort of going through the same things, and wherever you are, that's where you are, and it's okay, and we love you and we miss you, and I can't wait for all of us to be together again soon.
Same.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you. I'll see you very soon.